What's going on, beautiful people? I'm the Grandmaster, and I also go by d.rey, and I'm your coach of the San Diego Snugglers. And today we are bringing you the draft analysis, the team breakdown for your San Diego Snugglers. And if you're excited for this brand new draft league, the International Competitive Pokemon League, do me the massive favor and shadow claw that thumbs up button. And if you're new, por favor, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video. Yes, this is a brand new draft league. Shout out to Seth, aka SW087, who had so graciously invited me to co-host his draft stream. It was a fun time. Thank you to everybody who came out and hung out with us. And it's gonna be good vibes moving forward. Good vibes moving forward. Seth is the commissioner of this league, and that's why I say that. And it's been, so far, my experience has been phenomenal. I'm very excited for this season. There are a lot of new faces that I've not actually even met yet, nor have I seen their content. It's cool to see a bunch of new blood to come into the Wi-Fi draft league scene, and it's gonna be a thriller. So pull up a chair, get your popcorn ready, and hit the lights.
Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back. Let's talk about the team. A couple different draft things that we got to talk about before we hop on into it. I believe that what was my pick in this draft? Let's see. Check the pinned comments. We were position number 7 out of 18. 18 coaches this season. That's a lot. That's 2 more than typical 16. What that means is that there's going to be 11 Pokemon per team for those two. So 22, between like 17 and 22 Pokemon that would have gone undrafted will be drafted. Thus, all the coaches kind of have to be more creative with their teams, which is pretty nice because all of us drafted through that same draft pool. With that being said, there's a lot more Pokemon that will be more viable because the teams are spread so thin, which is really nice. It promotes creativity. It allows other Pokemon to kind of shine, not necessarily low tiers, but Pokemon that will typically go undrafted can actually put some merit in this league, and we definitely wanted to take advantage of that. There was no limit in regards to being limited in 11 Pokemon forcefully being drafted. The requirement was from 9 to 11 Pokemon at a point tier system. So essentially every Pokemon was worth a specific point, and then, or point amount I should say, and you had to have a minimum of 9 and I think actually a maximum of 12 if I remember correctly. It's actually 9 to 12. So we did want to kind of fix that and work that to our advantage. There's 2 different kind of ways that could happen, right? Option number 1, you're kind of top heavy, which makes it a little bit easier for you to have your opponents prepare for you. Or you have a little bit more options where it's kind of tougher for your opponent to kind of figure out what you're going to be bringing for that specific matchup, etc, etc. Making sure that you get to all your pieces, all the above. Anything else we need to talk about before we hop on into it? The coaches in this league, crazy lineup that I've known before. JV is in this league. We have Under the Radar is actually playing in this league, which is really, really nice. So I'm really excited for a lot of these coaches that are gonna be at OG Albina, my brother. We have Just Kurt, my brother. Sir Jorge D. Great, I love him. He's such an awesome presence. Q the Costa Rican. We have Mario B in this league. Man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be bananas. So without further ado, let's talk about the very first pick for our draft. Again, like I said, we were position number 7. So 7 is weird. You're still gonna get a top 10 Pokemon, but you're not gonna get the broken Pokemon like Dragapult or Mew, etc. I couldn't get Darm. That's the thing. I think it's what that happened. I think I didn't have a chance to get Darm. And maybe it didn't get drafted when I drafted it. I don't know. But anyway, this Pokemon has been eluding me for quite some time. Even then when I was doing those Gen 7 draft leagues, which I'm actually doing one right now, but it's not going to be recorded. I really wanted to try it, and it was there in front for us to take. I was super excited for it for the very first pick. And the ICP Draft Your San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Landorus Therian. Very excited for this Pokemon. This thing hits like a truck. It's a base 145 attack stat, ground and flying type Pokemon. Now, this Pokemon was the king of Draft League in Generation 7. It's kind of fallen off of grace because of the losses of Z moves. But even though there's no more Z moves, it's still a phenomenal Pokemon. Like I said, base 145 attack, it can be defensive and still do like 50% to some teams. Gets access to knockoff, gets access to U-turn, to stealth rock, coverage, like I said, in earthquake. It doesn't get flying stab outside of fly. Makes no sense for it to get dual wing beat. Doesn't have any wings. That's kind of a pain in the butt, but hey, me run some power herb fly sets. We may just run fly outright. You never know. You never know. But Landorus is a phenomenal Pokemon to be a breaker, to be a choice scarfer, to be a sweeper, to be a defensive mon with stealth rock. And I didn't say one of the best things about Landorus. It gets access to intimidate. That's its ability. Essentially, for those who don't know, whenever it comes into the game on the field, automatically the opponent's Pokemon gets their attack stat dropped by 1 stage, which is phenomenal. Super good. It's easy for us to set up a little bit better with Swords Dance, Rock Polish, etc. This thing is a Swiss Army knife. Very excited for Landorus. Very, very excited. Next mon we picked up was going to be Keldeo. Keldeo is really interesting. Also another Pokemon that has gotten high praise from my inner circle, like OG Albina. He loves this Pokemon. It is a fighting and a water type Pokemon. So it's like it's the other Urshifu, right? This was here before Urshifu, but it's that water fighting typing that's very unique. When it changes to its Resolute form, where it gets the bigger horn, it gets access to Secret Sword, which is actually, I believe, I'm gonna say this wrong, but I think it's when it's like a fighting type Psyshock, if I understand that correctly. It also got access to Flip Turn this generation, which is phenomenal for it, being able to come in and threaten something, but be able to Flip Turn out to gain that momentum. Already with Landorus and with Keldeo, we have U-Turn plus Flip Turn. I love momentum. Phenomenal. Getting access to Scald because it's a water type is really, really nice. It does get justified, so even though it's primarily a special attacker, who knows, maybe we run a physical set because we got the schlong for it. But yeah, I'm super excited for Keldeo. It's gonna be one of those mons that I've been wanting to try for quite some time. Oh my god, it's like it was cold in here, now it's hot. But Keldeo is gonna put in the work for us. Next mon we picked up was gonna be Galarian Slowking. I love Galar Slowking. I've been wanting to try it all gen. As the generation progresses, it proves time and time again that it is a force. This thing does not die. With the poison and psychic typing is a phenomenal defensive typing. And with a base 110 special attack, not only does it chew hits, it can dish them out as well. With dummy coverage, Scald, retaining from its original Slowking form. Obviously the psychic moves. Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Fire Blast. It doesn't get Teleport, which is quite unfortunate. I don't know why it didn't retain Teleport, which is interesting. It could be like a TM move from like another game, something like that. But it did get access to Regenerator. Regenerator is really, really nice. Being able to soak up a hit, switch out, get 1/3 health back, and just be a nuisance to my opponent. Its signature ability, I think, is like Curious Medicine or something like that. Essentially what it does is it's like a pressure on steroids. I think that it reduces the power point of a move used by 3, I believe. If not, it's 2. So for example, if it is 3, if my opponent goes for Fire Blast and Fire Blast has a max PP amount of 8, then it automatically has 5. Which is pretty solid for stalling stuff out, especially when it's so fat. Getting access to Slack Off for reliable recovery. That could be a set that we do bring. It doesn't get access. I think it does. Maybe it does. No, I don't think it does. Toxic? And maybe. I don't know. I don't have Showdown in front of me. I'm very excited for for Slowking. This typing is phenomenal to be able to help us out with fighting types, with the fairy types, being able to check some fighting, essentially a lot because of its coverage, really, to be completely honest with you. I believe that it's only weak to dark, ground, and dark ground is one more. Dark ground and ghost, I think, is what the three things. It's this is off the top of the dome, guys. Top of the dome. But very, very, very cool for Slowking here. The next Pokemon, I'm gonna look at it before I say it, just to kind of get my thought process behind it. If you look at my team, it's very, very slow, right? I wanted to be able to get that speed boost to not have to be forced to run Choice Scarf on a lot of my mons. Keldeo is base 108, which is cool. But it's still going to be slower than those base 110s. 111s, we're talking to you, Tornadus. The 115s, talking to you, Raikou, Starmie. So I want to be able to get a Pokemon that's going to be an offensive threat, a win con, a sweeper, and something that my opponents have to prep for and keep in mind week in and week out. So the next mon we picked up was Weevil. Weevil is going to be really, really fun. I love using Sneasel. I haven't used Weevil in quite some time, so it obviously works the same. It's the same Pokemon, it's just the evolution. Getting access to an amazing dual typing of Dark and Ice. Very, very potent and offensive threat. Knockoff Ice Shard gets access to Triple Axle this generation. Low kick to be able to hit those really bulky steel types. Or maybe a rock type that wants to come on in. If it's really, really heavy, it does a lot of damage. Getting access to Poison Jab, which is phenomenal. It gets a lot of really cool coverage. I wanted to use this in the BBL before I had to let that league go, unfortunately. Last one when Just Kurt won. And it was the one Pokemon I think I was excited for the most. I'm really excited that I was able to pick it up here. Being able to basically threaten out those Pokemon that want to come in on Landorus, because Landorus typically forces in those bulky grass types, which Weevil preys upon, which is really, really nice. Slowking is going to bring in those ghost types. Again, Weevil preys upon those. Keldeo also brings in those grass types, which is really nice. So essentially grass types are going to come to want to check Keldeo and Landorus. So Weevil is able to come in and eliminate those threats, allowing Landorus and Keldeo to put a little bit more work. Slowking also does the same thing, but being a little bit slower and maybe a little bit more difficult, especially if that grass type is a little bit more offensive, like say Zarude. So that is something to keep in mind, definitely. Now this next pick, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. I thought there's no better opportunity to make this Pokemon shine and put this Pokemon on the map. I have geared away from using it a lot. So I want to bring it back because I believe I personally can be one of the best people to make this mon shine, no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter what their opinion is on this Pokemon. It is one of the best setup sweepers in the game, one of the best cleaners in the game, one of the most adorable designs that has ever been created in the universe and the world of Pokemon. Shout out to Game Freak. With our next pick, we picked up Mimikyu. Mimikyu, I'm not even kidding. That wasn't a joke. Mimikyu is one of the best setup sweepers in this game. Picture this. If my opponent's team has been worn down to half, even 60-70%, and they don't have a Pokemon that can outspeed Mimikyu, Disguise is still a phenomenal ability, even though Game Freak did recognize that it was broken. What do I mean by that? In generation number 7, Disguise allows you a free substitute essentially, so you could take one hit without losing any HP. Phenomenal. It was awesome for running Focus Sash sets. Being able to get no chip damage whatsoever was super duper nice. Now, generation 8, they said, whoa, this mon is busted. Now we have to make it lose, I think it's 8% or 1.3 times, kind of like a Life Orb hit, if I understand correctly. You lose a little bit of HP every time it gets broken. So the Focus Sash sets aren't as good this gen, understandable, but it does stack, which means that if my Disguise is not broken, my ability is still intact. I can basically go for a substitute, and they have to go through the substitute and then go through the Disguise to be able to do damage to Mimikyu, thus allowing us to set up a bulk up, to set up a Swords Dance. This Pokemon gets access to Shadow Sneak for stab priority, access to Shadow Claw and Play Rough, which is phenomenal for its dual typing of Ghost and Fairy. Not many things resist at all. It also gets access to Drain Punch for those very niche steel type situations, or maybe if there's a moment where there's a 4-time super effective hit that we have to get off on, say like an Obstagoon, which we do outspeed, by the way, with a phenomenal base 96 speed stat. This Mon is phenomenal. There's so many things that this thing can do. Gets access to Will-O-Wisp, be able to cripple my opponents. Getting access to Curse and being a ghost type, eliminating that 25% each and every turn. Phenomenal. Getting access to Wood Hammer to be able to get rid of those pesky water types that may want to come and switch in and put a nuisance to my team. Maybe there's a really fat, bulky water type that wants to come in, we can nuke it with a Wood Hammer. Mimikyu gets phenomenal coverage. Don't get it twisted, guys. Mimikyu can be such a crazy threat. If my opponent has that 50% on their team, I come in, get a free Swords Dance off, and I can Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak them to death. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that it's going to be a kill leader. I'm not saying it's going to bring games home for us. What I'm saying is that it is a massive threat, and this is the one Mon that I've been so excited for. The mascot pick is going to be a force. I've been going on forever because this Mon needs to be hyped up. People need to respect this Pokemon. Shout out to Mimikyu. With the next pick, I'm really surprised that this Mon was here. I'm really lacking on the removal aspect here. All I have is Defog on Landorus, which is kind of a problem. So we decided to pick up a steel type in Scizor. The fact that Scizor was still here, crazy. Phenomenal steel and bug typing, only having one weakness to fire, which is a quad weakness, but nonetheless just still one weakness. Having amazing resistances, being able to be that bulky steel type with pivot and recovery, getting access to Roost and U-turn, which is stab boosted, by the way. Getting access to Technician, as his ability to boost Bullet Punch for priority is phenomenal, as well as being able to boost Bug Bite, giving it more of a threatening stab to be able to deal with those grass types. There's a theme here. We want to get rid of those grass types so that way Lando can come in and go nutty. Access to knock off for some awesome utility. Being able to set up in Swords Dance, having access to not close combat but super power is really nice. This Mon could be an offensive threat, a win con, a very bulky Pokemon. It could be hazard control, it could be a good utility with knockoff. Like I said, there's a lot of different things that Scizor can do as a steel type, not just being that bulky steel type. It's another Mon that my opponents do indeed have to respect. So now we have priority in Ice Shard with Weevil, Shadow Sneak with Mimikyu, Bullet Punch with Scizor. We have, I think the Landorus gets quick attack, maybe not, but anyway, those are the stabs for those Mons. So yeah, we have some kind of speed variations here. Weevil is very fast. I think it's base 121, 122, 123. It's between 120 and 130, essentially. And having that priority is going to be magnifique. The next Mon we wanted to pick up was some more hazards, because as of right now, all we have is Lando with Stealth Rock, which is no bueno. I typically want to have Pokemon, maybe like 3 Stealth Rockers, and within that, maybe trickle in some spikes. I love spikes. So I wanted to get some Stealth Rock. I wanted to be able to add some resistances, some key threats offensively that I have. Obviously, Scizor doesn't want to take those fire type moves. Lando's quad weak to ice. That's no bueno. So we wanted to pick up a Pokemon that can kind of help us out with that front. So we decided to pick up the cow, Miltank. Shout out to Miltank. Miltank is going to be that fat normal type that's helping us deal with those specific typings that we just talked about, along with ghost types. It's undercover. It's strangely fast. Base 100 for a cow. Let's get it. Getting access to Stealth Rock, Body Slam for stab to spread that yellow magic. We love paralysis. Getting access to Heal Belt as a cleric is phenomenal. Reliable recovery and Milk Drink. Great coverage, Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Earthquake, things like that. It could be a Pokemon that could be really bulky and not have to run stab normal type moves and still be able to put in the work. It gets access to Thick Fat, like I said before, as well as Scrappy, which got a buff this generation Before, it only was allowing normal types to hit ghost types with normal and fighting type moves. Now it makes it immune to intimidate, I believe taunt, and infatuation, like attract, if I understand that correctly. I think it just may be intimidate and taunt, but intimidate for sure. That way we could be a physical attacker, which is what it wants to be, and not be intimidated and drop that attack. Like we have Landorus, there could also be other Pokemon that have intimidate, so that way Miltank doesn't have to worry about that because it doesn't necessarily hit all that hard. So being able to get as much damage as we can from our cow will be so good. So having a really bulky Pokemon as a wall and a support piece is going to be nice for this team, because Mimikyu doesn't like to being burnt, Weevil doesn't like being burnt, Scizor doesn't like being burnt, neither does Landorus. So great addition to the team. I'm very excited for this one. So the next mon we picked up was actually, at the time of recording this, we play we'll say here, we play Mario B week number 1. We haven't played him yet. We have yet to play week number 1. We haven't necessarily started the league just yet. So this Pokemon I ended up dropping. I have to bring this Pokemon to our game with Mario, but in building with him and looking at the rest of the coaches that are on our schedule, I have some weaknesses to this team. I'll talk about the transactions that I made after that will be in effect for week number 2. It was some very glaring weaknesses, and this one Pokemon was pretty expensive. So I had to bite the dust to allow us to pick up 2 separate Pokemon to help the team function a little bit better. But at the time of drafting, we picked up Galvantula. Galvantula was here as a fast electric type with bug type stab, being able to help us get rid of what? The grass types. Being able to get rid of the water types that want to come in on Weevil. Getting access to energy ball to hit the ground types is really nice, super effectively. And access to sticky web. Mimikyu appreciates sticky web. Lando appreciates sticky web. Even Scizor appreciates sticky web if it's like a Swords Dance or even a banded set. So sticky web was the main idea here. I initially in the draft wanted to pick up Vikavolt, but unfortunately it was sniped. I can't remember who took it, but we had to switch it over and get Galvantula, which is a little bit more expensive because of the speed stat. But notice I already have the same speed stat in Keldeo, so this mon was worth 11 points. We split it up into 2 Pokemon. I'll talk about what those Pokemon were after we talk about the last 2 picks. So that's Galvantula. That's the thought process behind drafting it initially. Unfortunately, week number 2, it's gonna be gone. I'm not gonna. I may or may not. I'm probably gonna bring it to with Mario, so you can have that one Pokemon. I can have that one game with Galvantula. Maybe I'll bring it. That way I can let it shine for one game. But after this week, it's gonna be gone. Next Pokemon we picked up was gonna be our ground type switch in, because look at my team. Ground types kind of go in. The only immunity that we have is Lando, and I don't have a resist. So we decided to pick up a low tier option in Leafeon. Gives us another way to be able to get some support as well, having access to aromatherapy and heal bell, access to baton pass for some momentum, which is really nice. Wish pass is phenomenal. This thing is a very, very bulky on the defensive side. Being able to hit really hard with those leaf blades. It's a grass type that's able to come in on water type moves, especially Scald, that and still be able to heal bell that burn off in case we get burnt, and still be able to hit super duper hard. Leaf Blade knockoff is really the only offensive moves you need. Then you can run Heal Bell, you can run Wish, you can run Protect, you can run Toxic, you can run Baton Pass for momentum. There's a lot of things the Leafeon can do with an amazing speed stat of 95. I think it's like a 130 base defense, so this is a phenomenal ground type switching. It's a very low point. It's only 3 points, which is a steal in my opinion. We were gonna get it in the UBL, but it was sniped from us with I think Irish Emerald took it. And he dropped it. Ended up dropping it. The disrespect. So Leafeon, great ground switching. The last mon we decided to pick up was I cannot go through this draft without getting spikes. We picked up Carkol. Carkol is going to give us Stealth Rock, Spikes, Rapid Spin. 3 very, very important things to have on a team. Being able to get rid of hazards on my opponent on our side of the field and not my opponent's, because Defog does both. Being able to get rid of their hazards, not our hazards, with rapid spin. Phenomenal. Very bulky with an Eviolite. The one big knock I have on this thing is it's a part fire type, which means that it's not weak to stealth rock, but it has to take stealth rock. It's a fire type that's not weak to rocks, but it doesn't have recovery, so it does get worn down over time, which sucks. I mean, we can run rest, that's a thing, but nonetheless, it's a fire type that's not weak to stealth rock, but it does not care about them, if that makes sense. But this thing's here to set up hazards, to be super bulky. It has phenomenal abilities. This thing gets super disrespected. I love Carkol. Carkol gets access to Flame Body, which means it's able to punish U-turners to come in, burn them, and reduce their attack with just a 30% chance every single time you touch this thing with Flame Body. Phenomenal. Access to Flash Fire, which means we're an automatic fire type immunity and thus boosting our fire type moves like burn up, overheat, etc. Being able to do just a little bit more. And Steam Engine. I don't think I'll ever use Steam Engine on the water type side, because what Steam Engine does, it boosts your speed by 6 stages if you get hit by a water type move or a fire type move. Fire type moves obviously is quad resistant, so I could switch it on the fire type move, eat the hit, go +6 speed, and just go maybe something we do, but primarily Carkol's here to basically try to spread burns, get those hazards up, keep the hazards off our side of the field, do as much as it can, try its absolute best before it goes down. Shout out to Carkol. Phenomenal 1-point Pokemon. 1 point, steal. Absolute steal. I don't care what anybody says, Carkol is phenomenal. Now, I will probably just put them up on screen. Let's go ahead and just put them up on screen. Now, I don't have a way to really turn these off. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them on screen here. I didn't plan to do this in the beginning, but these are the 2 Pokemon that we picked up. We picked up, I don't have them on my screen right now. I'm trying to remember what they are. Lantern and Altaria. We dropped Galvantula, we picked up Lantern, we picked up Altaria. The reason for this, we needed another water type that is bulkier than Keldeo. Right now, Keldeo is our only water type, which means that fire types are kind of a problem for our team. Yes, Carkol can deal with them with Flash Fire, but for the most part, poor little Carkol is going to get overwhelmed. So we wanted to get another bulky water type. Lantern is going to fit the bill phenomenally, getting 2 really great abilities in Volt Absorb and Water Absorb, and have that water immunity, that electric type immunity. So good being able to spam those Scalds as another heal bell user. So good. Very, very bulky HP Pokemon. I've always wanted to get Lantern on the team, and I feel like this is the team to really let it shine. We picked up Altaria as a dragon type and a flying type, right? Our flying type right now is Lando, that doesn't get any flying type stab outside of fly. So this Pokemon gets, I think, Air Slash, Hurricane, and Dual Wing Beat, if I understand correctly. It may not get Hurricane, but I know it gets Dual Wing Beat, which is really nice. And Altaria gets so much freaking coverage. I'm not gonna name it all because we'd be here for another 10 minutes. But Altaria gets the moves. It gets the moves. And being able to have Cloud 9, which is really nice to be able to eliminate the effects of weather while it's on the field, or having access to Natural Cure, makes it a phenomenal status sponge. Scalds, Will-O-Wisps, Thunder Waves, Sleep Powders, all of that. Switch it in, gain the status, switch out, healed. So good. Being able to have access to reliable recovery and roost, getting access to Cotton Guard to boost its defense. I think it does get Cotton Guard. I think it does get Cotton Guard. Let's go and look this up real quick because I do want to make sure that I say this correctly. Let's see. Altaria. I'm pretty sure it does, team. Pretty sure it does. Cotton Guard. It does get Cotton Guard. It doesn't get Calm Mind. It does not get Calm Mind. Does it get Amnesia? It does not get Amnesia. Cotton Guard is going to be phenomenal to be able to boost that defense by +3. Being able to switch in on those fighting types will be really nice. Switch in on the ground types, switch in on the fire types. So now we gain 2 fire resistances because fire types really did go in on this team. Altaria is a very cool Pokemon that I want to experiment with. So I'm sure that it's going to come to multiple games. Now we have a full team of 11. Full team of 11. But let me know what you guys think. Along with those two Pokemon, this is the actual team outside Galvantula. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Which one is your favorite besides Mimikyu? And which Pokemon are you most excited to see this season of the ICP? I believe that we are doing 10 games with a full off season, a full post season, I should say, with no bye weeks. So top 8 seeds get in, and we just all duke it out. Very excited for the coaches that are here. Like I said before, I'm sure that you guys will be super excited to see me play these new people, and time to mix it up a little bit. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here, make sure to consider subscribing, hit the thumbs up button. And with that being said, I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night, and above all else, be nice. Peace.